Right, okay then guys. So welcome back to the video. Here we're going to discuss the Bournemouth preview with Adam P. If you're not already following him, where can people go?
Just my name on YouTube, Adam Pearson, this is up.
There we go. And so Newcastle, we've had 90 minutes of Premier League football. We've had a little pre-season where we could maybe take some stuff from. We went down early to a red card. Very good defensively. We maybe didn't seem like go at the races for me a little bit too much. I know Gordon probably didn't have his best game, a few others, but Joelinton, Bruno looked absolutely on fire, and defensively we seem very, very solid. Bournemouth have just sold their star striker as well. Is this 3 points for us? How do you see the game going?
Well, Bournemouth is one of them bogey teams for Eddie Howe. He just never gets one over his former club when he's in the Premier League. I think we've beaten once in the Cup since he came in. That's it. Bournemouth away is a match we just never win it. So if we win this time, it'll be a very good start to the season for Newcastle. We've got to be looking to go there and win because we've got a lot of our players are back. I know Tonali's not back in time for that game. He's back for the Forest Cup game afterwards, but going into this Bournemouth game, Newcastle, I've got to be getting 3 points in that match. We can't drop points to them again. It was horrendous last season. We had the Dortmund Champions League match. Had no struggle in the game. I think we started Gordon and Ben Parkinson came on for half an hour. I mean, if you're giving a 17-year-old lad half an hour to try and get you back into the game, it just said a lot about Newcastle's squad depth at the time. Bournemouth, I think, has a bit of uncertainty surrounding because of the Solanke's sell, because Solanke was a big factor why they were doing so well last season. Still think they're going to be staying up this season, however. Without Solanke, they're lacking some quality, so Newcastle, we've got to pick them apart. And I don't just mean win, we've hopefully got to be going there, scoring 3-4 and just putting these, I wouldn't say putting the team in this place, because I think that's harsh to say, but just showing Bournemouth why Newcastle statistically on paper have a better team. So just going down there and just smashing the crap out of them, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an expected maybe 2-0 win. I think they're going to struggle with goals. It's going to be hard losing their star striker and another striker coming in who's not Premier League proven and expected to hit the ground running. Like yourself, I don't think they're going to struggle. We did a whole video on Premier League predictions and stuff like that. Neither one of us had Bournemouth anywhere near the bottom and stuff like that. Even though really it's surprising because it is their star man, you might think they do get sucked into it. The only thing I could see to play devil's advocate to why they might stand a chance is we've obviously got the red card to Shaw as well, like that. Who do you see slotting in? Obviously, we've seen Kraft kind of be fetched in. We've seen Kelly get game minutes towards the end of the game. How do you kind of see the defensive side going? Who do you think is going to start in Shaw's place? And do you think we're going to be vulnerable at the back because of it?
Well, I think you'll start Kraft, Burn as centre halves, and have Hall as left back. That's what I think he's going to do. Yeah. So exactly when we've got the Shaw red card, he just subbed Kraft on that position. I think we'll do the same again. I don't know why he hasn't started Kelly yet. I think he's recovering. Yeah. I wouldn't say recovering because I think he is back now, but I think he's had an injury when he first came to Newcastle, or at least just before he left Bournemouth. So I think that's probably been a factor why Kelly hasn't came straight in. I think Eddie Howe anyway just likes to do that when new signs where they have to gradually come into the squad, which is fair enough. And some people may disagree, but I think Kraft's decent. I think Kraft would do a job against Bournemouth. I think especially against these lower half teams, Kraft's solid. I think he's good as a rotation player, and it's a match where I think you have a bit of confidence going into it because I thought the back four was brilliant against Southampton when we went down to 10 men, grafted our absolute arses off, and we picked up a good result against admittedly a poor team, but the team done well for themselves. In my personal opinion, we're going to start Kraft alongside Burn as centre halves, and it'll be Lewis Hall and Livramento as the fullbacks.
Still no room for Trippier in. Obviously,
no.
He's late coming back from the Euros, so you understand why he missed the first game. I know a lot of European English players missed the first game of the season. Not see Trippier coming back anytime soon, or is that just the first two games?
No, we've got to look to the future now. Looks like Trippier is going to stay. My personal opinion, I think he'll walk at the end of the window, which means Newcastle will have lost out on PSR sales with Solomon this window. He's still a big advocate in that dressing room, but in all honesty, you've got to look to the future now. Livramento is a better player than Trippier. Got to start Livramento, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I think Trippier might not take it too well being forced out of the team because he knows probably he could get into another Premier League club. So maybe if he's not started this week, that might be the kick up the arse that he maybe thinks, right, fine, if you don't fancy us yet, I'll move on. How do you see it going in front of goal as well, like that? So is Isak clinical? Is he going to score a few, do you reckon? We've obviously got Gordon. Who starts on the other wing? Is it Murphy for you or is it Almiron?
It's got to be Murphy. I mean, that's what's annoying is. I know based on goals last season, even with a white winger where you can definitely improve in, Newcastle still scored so many goals where some fans have went, well, no, Adam, it's not a priority. We don't need to go and buy a winger, even though I would disagree with that. Isak's, of course, your main man. Usula on the bench. Probably a sort of match where I would have liked to see him play, and I felt like he would have played in the Southampton game if it wasn't for the red cards, and that fact has kept him out from making his Premier League debut for Newcastle. Gordon is like the two key ones. They're going to get you the goals. Murphy, to be fair, who scored quite a lot pre-season, has a definite stint where he's looked quite well. I think confidence-wise, he'd be looking good. But in all honesty, he is the weakest of the three. So you'd expect Gordon and Isak to be the two that's going to do most of the work. But we'll see. I expect against Bournemouth, though, we've got to score a few down there. Isak's your main man. I'm expecting him to score in the game at some point.
Yeah, so we've got Murphy and Almiron. Now, the debate seems very, very split. Almiron seems to have fallen out of favour with a lot of Newcastle fans in the last 6 months. A lot of fans that I spoke to outside the ground were saying, oh, Murphy's did it in pre-season. The only kind of question I've got is, obviously, pre-season's pre-season. Not everyone's got the fitness levels. Can you take too much from pre-season? Is Murphy's goals and performances maybe just because it was a pre-season, or do you think he can carry that and really drive forward us in the Premier League?
Well, I thought at the back half of last season, Murphy got a lot of goal contributions. To tell you a crazy stat, by the way. So, Murphy in the second half of the season, I think, had 2 goals in the league and 8 assists. Those 8 assists in that half of the season is more than what Almiron's done in 140 games. He's got more assists, Murphy, in that period of the season Almiron's done his entire Newcastle career, which is mental. It's just such a poor return from Almiron. I know he's had that period of passion. I know he's had big moments for Newcastle where he's obviously scored our first goal in the Champions League in over 20 years, but just straight away look at a stat like that. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous when you look at it. So Murphy for me has to start. Again, I think you've got to look towards the future in terms of what players we have available at the stand. Murphy's going to be here at least a couple more seasons. Almiron is not. I think the answer is as simple as that. So we've got to start Murphy over the 2.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on that in a lot of detail. We also touched on who's going to leave Newcastle and who we like to see fetched in the transfer video. Make sure to watch that one. What number of goals, what scoreline are you predicting for this one? If I had to give a definite prediction.
Well, you said 2-0. I'm going to 1-up here. I think it'll be 3-0. I'm expecting to be comfortable. I think it has to be comfortable. I mean, it's just one of them ones again. Eddie Howe just never beats Bournemouth, and I'm starting to get a bit annoyed. So I'm going to make sure this time I'm going to do it because it's a long way to get down to. At least in my case, in a selfish point of view, I get to go to the Forest Cup game and just stay down there an extra couple of days. So it's not necessarily going to ruin my time down there, but we've got to win at Bournemouth. I mean, it's a long way to go. Our players are miles better than Bournemouth, all due respect to them. If you want to get Champions League football, you need to win these matches. So no excuses. I don't care what the scoreline is, just win the game. But I'm going to say it's going to be comfortable. I think it'll be far more comfortable than the Southampton game, to say the least, from last week. But I think this is the game where you got to then start looking to how Newcastle are going to do this season. I think Southampton's first game, fair enough, got to dust the cobwebs off, but fitness levels have got to be good against Bournemouth. Newcastle have got to be looking to get into the game well, got to start the game well, got to play consistently well during the game, and I think it's the point of the season where Newcastle fans, this is where you're going to start judging your team off. So straight away, Bournemouth away has to be a good, convincing performance.
Yeah, I mean, we both predicted Newcastle to finish in the European places in the Premier League video that we did. So if they are going to do that, you would expect to have to beat teams like Bournemouth to get in. And then very quickly as well, just because obviously I know you're away for it as well, Nottingham Forest, it's a cup game. Obviously, we haven't got the distraction with with Champions League rather. Are you expecting a big cup run? Do you think Nottingham Forest will put any breaks on us?
I just don't think Forest have the depth to go out in the cups. I think Forest will be a bit like us when they make Ashley, where they'll probably would half-arse the cups. They play a weaker squad, the quality's poor, whereas Newcastle's weaker squad's still quite good because, well, obviously Tonali's going to start his first game back, so in some capacity, I think he'll start anyway, but Eddie Howe's definitely going to play him. Like to Trippier, play the Forest game. I mean, if Trippier is your weaker player there, but he's still quality, isn't he? So,
not a bad problem to have, is it?
Yeah. Usula will start with a 4. That'll be a game where like Almiron will play. You have Barnes that'll probably play.
Kelly as well, maybe his first start as well.
Like Willock and that are going to start. You know what I mean? That's a good team. We'll should be smashing them as well. And I think Forest are going to play their second string squad, and their second string squad is terrible. So, yeah, I think Forest away in the league will be a tricky game, but in the cup, I think Newcastle would just slaughter them.
You summed that up exactly fantastic. So that's exactly what I would have said as well. So if we were playing them in the league, it might be a bit more difficult. They're not guaranteed to stay in the Premier League, so their full focus has to be the Premier League. They can't take their eyes off that, so they probably will play a more weakened team than we will play. So yeah, I would expect us to go through. It's hard to say until the teams are kind of announced and you can see, but like you said, player for player, I fancy our second string to take them out. So yeah, possibly a good cup run as well. So we'll see that. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your score predictions, and we'll see you in the next video, guys.
Cheers.
There we go.